What's something your family tried to pull that ended up completely backfiring on them, where their plan didn't just fail, but blew up in a way nobody expected? My name is Emily Carter, and if there's one thing my family is good at, it's scheming. Sometimes it's harmless, like surprise birthday parties. Other times, not so much. The biggest backfire of all happened a few years ago, when my parents and older brother, Josh, tried to teach me a lesson about responsibility. Instead, they ended up humiliating themselves in the most unforgettable way. At the time, I was 24, fresh out of grad school, and living at home while saving up for my first apartment. My family kept teasing me about not being grown up enough. One night over dinner, my mom looked at me with that sly smile she gets when she's plotting something. "Emily, since you think you're so independent, how about you handle the family finances for a month?" I thought she was joking. But the next morning, I found a binder on the kitchen table filled with bills, bank statements, and even grocery lists. My dad and Josh were smirking, clearly expecting me to fail. Their plan was obvious: dump everything on me, watch me struggle, then swoop in and say, "See? You're not ready." At first I panicked. I had no idea how much they spent on utilities or how often they paid the mortgage. But I'm stubborn, and I wasn't about to give them the satisfaction. I spent nights combing through statements, setting up autopay, and even calling the internet company to negotiate a lower bill. I tracked every receipt, cut out wasteful expenses, and put the numbers into a color-coded spreadsheet. When the month ended, I called a family meeting in the living room. My parents sat there looking smug, like they were about to hear a confession of failure. Instead, I presented my spreadsheet. "Not only did I pay every bill on time," I said, "but I also saved us $420 by cutting unnecessary charges and switching to a cheaper energy plan." Their jaws dropped. Josh sputtered, "Wait, what? How?" I explained my process, and the more I talked, the more red their faces became. Their lesson had backfired, spectacularly. Instead of proving I couldn't handle responsibility, I'd just proven I could handle it better than they did. The funniest part? My dad sheepishly admitted he'd been paying for a gym membership he hadn't used in 3 years. Mom realized she'd been double paying an insurance fee. Josh was furious that I found out he was spending half his paycheck on gaming subscriptions. Their plan to embarrass me had exposed their own mess. From that day forward, the teasing stopped. In fact, they started asking me for financial advice. My dad still calls me whenever he gets confused about online banking, and my mom brags to her friends about my budgeting skills. The lesson they tried to teach me ended up teaching them instead. And every time I think about it, I smile. Because sometimes, when people set traps for you, they forget. They might just trip into them themselves. Full story added in below.